Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to be working on a Walker R21 today. Going to give you just kind of an overview of some general maintenance items that if you have an R21 at home or possibly an R22, I'm not sure what changes they made on the R22, but I'll speak specifically to the R21. Pretty simple, easy machine to maintain. Very simple from the standpoint of grease points, things to look out for, things of that nature. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this. This right here is a 42-inch side discharge deck that mounts to the front of this R21 right here. And the machine has got 41 and a half hours on it, so it's a relatively new machine. But some things that we're going to be looking at here is the different grease points that are on it. We're going to be looking at how to fold the deck up. We're also going to be looking down to check your belts, things of that nature, air filter, oil, everything dealing with general maintenance, things to look out for if you've got yourself an R21, great capable machine. This one right here has the comfort seat on it. And like I said, that is a game changer when it comes to comfort. Over my shoulder over here is my MT23, and I don't have the comfort seat on that. Huge difference when it comes to operator comfort with the comfort seat. I know you can get some armrests, things of that nature, but even just this configuration right here, super comfortable seat. So what you're going to have is you're going to have basically 6 grease points on this machine. So you're going to have some grease. You're going to have 2 up here on your front wheels. You're going to have them right here on your little hub assembly, your little axle going through here. There's a grease zerk out here. There's a grease zerk over there on that wheel. Also up here on your spindles, you're going to have 2 grease zerks right there in the front and center. You can give them a couple pumps of grease. And you flip the deck up, you're going to have 2 grease zerks on the spindles, the blade spindles up there as well. The hubs, I guess, I don't know what you'd call them right there. And really the other 2 that you're going to find, the other grease zerks you're going to find is underneath the seat to control your levers right there. And that's, the other ones are sealed bearings. Your back spindle, everything else like that is a sealed bearing. And the others are pulleys, things of that nature, so they don't have the grease zerks on it. Excuse me, some of the other machines that Walker has a lot more grease zerks on it, so they try to simplify it some on this machine with the less number of grease zerks. But you get the same cut quality, you get the same everything that you do with your normal Walkers as you do with this R21. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through how to flip the deck up, and we will get that put up. We're also going to be doing some other maintenance items on this, just kind of doing an overview. This is not my R21, this is a friend of mine's R21. And like I said, just going to kind of give it a once over on everything and things to look out for if your machine starts acting up, because my friend mentioned that his was starting to cut out when he was mowing. And so, yeah, we're going to take a look at that. We have some areas that we're given as tips to take a look at and see if some things are loose, things of that nature. But we're going to go ahead and start with flipping this deck up. So right here, if you look, right here is where your feet sit. On here, it's a foot pit step. There's these 2 levers right here. I'm going to bring you in here so you can see these. But all right, so these 2 levers right here, there's one right here, and there's one right here. And then these get pushed down until those clips are now held down. They make a bar on the front of this to pull out. You slide this out. There's like a receiver for this square tube right here that's mounted to the front of the deck. You slide that right into this, and they make a spot for the pin to go in, which is bottoms out, so you don't have to kind of guess around. You can just go ahead and slide that pin right into this hole. And then what we'll do is flip this deck up, and I'll show you, like I said, the grease zerks for the front here. There's one right there. There's one right here. There's one on this wheel. There's one on that wheel. And now we're going to flip this deck up so you can take a look at that. I'm going to bring you right over here so you're not getting a look there at the backside. But so what we're going to do right here is just pick this up. It's a really easy deck to pick up. You bring it up, you fold it, and then it sets down. There's these little latches that are on the side that you take out of the off the deck, and you just slide it right into these little, right there. There's also one on this side, so you make sure you have a real good, safe connection right there. So that deck right there is secured up. It's not going to come down. This is what it looks like when you want to clean your deck out. They recommend to make sure your deck is cleaned every time. It's really easy to flip the deck up, so there's really no reason not to flip the deck up. So we went ahead and cleaned out my buddy's deck the other night. Probably we'll go ahead and sharpen the blades as well, possibly. We'll see if we get to that today, because we got some other projects on this that we're going to be taking care of. But otherwise, you have a grease zerk right here on this blade. You have a grease zerk right here on this blade. And like I said, those should be greased according to your owner's manual, everything else like that. So we made sure everything was taken care of from that standpoint on this. Now we're going to go to the back and I'm going to show you how to make this other thing go. All right, we're going to put the deck down in order to get underneath here so we can take a look at the belts, because there's one belt that comes from the motor, goes all the way underneath, runs up and runs the deck. So we're going to check that. We're going to see what the hydro fins, it's some cooling fins that are on the hydros. We're going to see what those look like. I'm going to show you how to put this deck down. I'm going to show you how to flip the seat up. It's really simple to do. And then we'll go back here to the workhorse, the Kohler 21 horsepower motor that's powering this R21. I think you can get a 48-inch deck on this as well, but this one came with the 42-inch, and with as fast as these things mow, like I said, the 42-inch is definitely a capable rig. So we're going to go ahead and put this deck down, and I'm going to go ahead and show you some of that stuff as well. So what you're going to do is take these little clips off the side. They fit right here into the chassis of the tractor. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, bring this down. Goes right into a slot right there. This is on a rubber bushing, so it does kind of have some flexibility from the outside. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this other side. Put that in there. And now what you're going to do is I just have it held on my leg, but I'm going to hold on to this bar. I'm going to go ahead and let this come down, and there it went down. And now I'm just going to make sure that this deck is flipped up where it needs to be. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it up, pull this lever down. And this needs to be sitting up. All the way is where this needs to be sitting. So this right now needs to be flipping up. And right now, that thing is back into position. Take this bar out, take my clip off, take this bar out, and we'll slide that back in there. Again, bottoms out on a piece from the factory right there, so you don't have to worry about placement of this pin. And then you just get this pin put right back in there. Clip it back over. And so on this specific model, this R21, your deck adjustment is done right here with these 4 pins on the deck. You pull these out. There's a reference guide right here on your foot pad. If you don't have that, you can definitely order a new one. You can also look it up online, but ultimately it's telling you how many pins are showing or how many holes are showing is how high your deck is. So right now we've got 4. We're in the 4th hole, so that would be 3-inch cut height is what that would be set at. So that's what that ends up being on that. This right here is so that you can access down here to your belt. This does not come up with it sitting in the current position that it's in. But like I said, that is so that you can ultimately take access the belt. This right here is your steer levers, your PTO engagement, hour meter, and there's no choke on this machine. So you just start cranking. And like I said, give it some gas and it'll pop right off. To flip this seat up, it's really simple on this machine. There's a brake over here. This is how you go forward on the walkers. On my models, the same way. For go fast pedal is this right here. And then like I said, you can see these moving as well. So you're turning with these right here versus having 0-turn levers or a steering wheel or something like that nature. This is how you steer. To get the seat flipped up, there's a little red knob right over here. This one right here, so if there's 2 red knobs in a row, the one with the ball on it is the throttle. This one back here is your seat hold down. So you flip that back and then the seat flips up. And this provides you access to your battery, which is right here. And then also you can see down here, see your belts, you can see your big belt, you can see your hydro belts. And these also have some fins on them. I'm gonna pull you guys closer so you can take a look at those and show you what that looks like.
I got it.
So right down in here is what it looks like underneath the seat. And you can see there's a battery right there. There is the hydros right here. There's nothing that needs to be serviced. No, I mean, like, you're not going to be servicing the hydros a lot. That's something good to take back to the dealer, battery-wise. But there are some grease zerks that are right up underneath there that are for your control levers. There's a grease zerk there and a grease zerk there. And really, that's all the grease zerks that you're going to have. You're going to have basically the 2 up front, the 2 on the spindles, 2 on the wheels, 2 on the blades, and then 2 right here. And like I said, you'll want to make sure that those stay greased up and good. You can put some lubrication on the throttle cable right here to give it some oil. Otherwise, we're going to come back here. Oil is right here. You want to check that. And then right back here is your air filter. I'm going to put you right here. So right here is your air filter. And the way to open this up, really pretty simple. You're just going to take these. These are 2 clips that are just going to fold out like this. And this pulls straight up off of there. And then this is your air filter right here. On On this specific machine, this was completely coated in dirt. So ideally, you'd probably just get a new filter. I don't have access to one of those right now. So instead, what I'm gonna do is just turn my air gun on really, really low. I'm not gonna monkey with the actual air filter itself. Instead, it's got this pre-cleaner on it. And I'm just gonna gently blow off some of that dirt and grime that was on here. But I did notice this was running a little rich, so I'm wondering if that was causing some of the rich running, was this thing being partially plugged and not allowing enough air to get in, causing it to run rich. But like I said, this filter looks pretty good because the pre-filter was doing its job. So like I said, that ideally we'd be replacing both of those, but I'm just gonna go ahead and, like I said, try to take care of some of the dirt that's on here. But again, no choke on this specific machine. It's got the smart choke technology. No priming is required. And so, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take care of this, put this back together, and then it should be ready to roll. There is no grease zerks back here on this back main spindle or on this axle right here. So there's no grease zerks you need to worry about on those. Some of the other models, if you get like my MT, things like that, there is grease zerks on those specific units. On this machine, it's meant to be easier to maintain for the homeowners, for the people that own them. And so, like I said, there's no grease zerks on these. These are be sealed bearings. So I'm gonna go ahead and blow this off and, like I said, turn my air pressure way down, back blow it. So I'm not gonna blow it through the medium, this pre-filter. Instead, I'm gonna blow it backwards to get it out of there. And then we're going to check other things. So I've turned this pressure way down on this. My air compressor will go pretty high, but I'm just gonna go ahead here and just get some of this. Again, I'm blowing from the inside out, so I'm not trying to push through the media or through this pre-filter. Instead, I'm gonna go ahead and make it so that this stuff and whatever goes from the inside out. So opposite way of the way it came in. Like I said, ideally you just get a new pre-filter and a new filter possibly, but in this situation, I don't have access to one right now. And so I'm gonna go ahead and make this work and put a list on there for my buddy to let him know that the air filter might need to be replaced. I'm not gonna do any air blowing on the actual air filter itself, just so I don't end up actually getting any pinholes in it. I know some people could do that. I'm not gonna do it just because I don't want to put any pinholes so that it would suck in dirt into the motor. Carburetor's right underneath there, so I'm just gonna go ahead, feel a little more comfortable blowing a little air through the pre-cleaner than the actual air filter. And the air filter itself, there's not much dirt buildup on the fins. Not saying it's not down in the pleats, but what I can see, it looks like it's okay. The pre-filter definitely was doing what it was doing, pre-filtering. So if I was to sharpen the blades, like I said, I'm not sure I'm going to get to that today or not, but it does call for, the owner's manual does call for a 30-degree angle on the blades is what they would recommend in there. Also, to balance the blades, you can watch some of my other videos where I've sharpened the blades on my MT23. And like I said, I do have a little blade balancer that I've mounted on the wall, and I do have a grinder that will cut it at that 30 degrees. So I definitely recommend keeping sharp blades. The deck is clean. With the deck being able to flip up so easy, keeping the deck blades nice and sharp is, like I said, very, very crucial. Helps with that cut quality. It just helps with the overall mowing experience from that standpoint. But I got this pretty well cleaned off. We're gonna go ahead and slap this back over. I'm not gonna stretch it too much, just trying to make it so that it goes over that air filter. Gonna slide it down here. And then make sure that's seated down onto that base. And then I'm gonna slide this back on. Again, these pins, these slides are gonna be out, facing away from you. Or not out, but they're just gonna be, when it's closed, it's like that. Let me get closer for you. This is in the closed position. This is in the open position. So this will let this cover, which is the Kohler 6600 series, we'll let that come right off. Like I said, this is what it looks like underneath. You can see those pins sliding right there. Those kind of latch onto these little holes on the chassis. So we got this right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this straight down onto the machine. You hear it click right there. It's in line. There's the body lines are all kind of lined up with each other. And there really shouldn't be a lot of pressure on these when you turn them, like I said. So that made a clip, that fit back in, and there we go. So that is back in, it is secure. Made sure all the hoses are looking good, wiring is good. 41 hours, there really shouldn't be a lot of decay or anything like that. There is a gauge right here for your fuel, so you know where your fuel level is at. It's just a standard, it's not digital, it's just a very mechanical gauge on that. But other than that, we're pretty well good to go. I might put a couple squirts of grease on the handles here, and maintenance is pretty simple on these. So like I said, it makes it easier from that standpoint. Not need to change oil yet. My buddy has recently changed the oil in it, so I'm not needing to do any of that today. There's no gearbox I need to take care of up on the deck. My MT23 has gearboxes with oil in them. This does not. This has the spindles with belt run on that. And so, like I said, we're not need to worry about any of that today. But like I said, we're gonna go ahead and get this all buttoned up and then kind of give you one final overview. If you do need to know your belt routing, anything like that, if something was to happen to your main belt, catch something, break the belt, whatever, owner's manual as your first stop, but also they've put the belt routing underneath the seat here. So if your machine still has the belt routing sticker, there should be one underneath the seat that allows you to know kind of how to run everything, where the twists should be, everything else like that. This machine has 2 belts, and it gives you the part number also underneath the deck. So that's really handy to have versus having to look up Google and all that other stuff. It allows you to do that. But yeah, like I said, it ended up being, this should be pretty well ready to go. Flip the seat down, and deck's all adjusted where it needs to be. It's all greased up, and we checked the air filter, so it should be running better. So we've got it pretty well completed now. What I'm gonna do is fold the seat back down. This clip right here will hold the seat down right there, so that is all good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and crawl up on here and start it up. And again, you don't have to choke it, anything like that. It will, you just give it a little bit of gas, make sure your levers are where they need to be. Park brake is on, PTO is off, never had it engaged, but make sure everything is turned off. You're gonna turn the key on, and then you're just gonna go ahead and Is there? That's all right. I don't know what I did. All right, so we got everything put back together. I'm gonna go ahead and start it now that we've got everything taken care of, and I'm gonna make sure that everything is turned off. We've got the park brake set over here on your left side. We've got the forward lever, the drive lever, I guess, all the way back. We currently have the throttle all the way back. PTO is off. It won't even let you turn it on. I'm gonna turn it on here, and like I said, it won't even let you crank it over. Safety switches, which is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it up and make sure everything's good to go. That's what it is, guys. So the R21, it's a great machine. It's quick. It does the same cut quality as your other Walker mowers, laying stripes down. If you haven't seen some of the stripes that my MT can do, definitely check out. I think I did a short here not that long ago on YouTube. Like I said, that kind of showed some of the striping that the my MT can do. This R21 will do just the same. This is a side discharge, which you can see the flap over here, where my MT right over my shoulder here is a collection deck. So definitely check them out if you're interested. Go to Walker. Like I said, check out what they have. Talk to a local dealer. They have a great way to be able to find dealers online. Like I said, they're great machines. Thanks for watching.
Hey, I was filming earlier, and I'm like, all right, and then you just started up to make, I couldn't get the thing to start. Hey, I left a rag in the intake.